caveat emptor. Two Latin word which literally means let the buyers beware. Caveat emptor reminds you that you are responsible for the product or service that you buy. You don't just look at the benefits of, but also the limitations, the benefits from, but also the limitations of the product or service that you buy. And this very well applies to ChatGPT. The shortcut for chat generative pre-trained transformer, which is taking the internet world by storm. The subscribers to ChatGPT soared from 1 million after a few days of launching on November 10, 2022, up to the end of February, it reached more than 100 million subscribers. This is phenomenal. It surpassed the success of TikTok and other AI and other platforms in the internet. Why this frenzy about ChatGPT? I wanted to test it myself. Why that success? As the test of the pudding is in the eating, I opened an account myself. It's easy to open an account. It's done in less than 3 minutes. And then to test it, I asked 2 questions. First, what are the upsides of ChatGPT as far as the education sector is concerned? The second question that I asked, what are the downsides of ChatGPT in the education sector? And let me tell you part of the story through this slide. On the first question that I asked, ChatGPT enumerated 5 items as the benefits from ChatGPT as far as the education sector is concerned. Personalized learning, assistance for students, educational content creation, language learning, and accessibility. That's the response to the first question with short explanation for each item. Personalized learning. ChatGPT can analyze the strengths and weaknesses of each student, and this helps teacher prepare very well and make assessment of the students' progress. Second is assistance for students. You can ask any question. If you were a student, you could ask any question, and ChatGPT will give you an answer. Instant answer in just a few seconds. How does it do that? ChatGPT strings together in words to respond to your question using the data and information stored in its memory bank. Educational content creation. ChatGPT can help teachers prepare quizzes, textbooks, and other educational content. To pursue this issue further, I asked 2 questions. Give me an outline on introduction to economic analysis, which I handled for so many years. And I got an instant response, a one-page syllabus. And then I asked the second question, give me an outline on how I should prepare for the history of administrative thought, which is a subject in Master of Public Administration. And in 3 seconds, I got an answer. But if you analyze these answers, as an experienced instructor, I can only use 50% of what is stated in the outline that I got from ChatGPT. Only 50%. So it's not an ideal one. Language learning. ChatGPT can teach students a new language. And you can have exercises. You can have partners to chat with you. So it will improve your skills in other language and make you confident to speak another language. That's an advantage. Accessibility. If you are hearing or visual impaired, they can create content that's suited for you. Those are the upsides. Now, on the downsides, ChatGPT itself gave me this, lack of personalization. You know, you deal with machine-generated responses, not humans. So there's lack of personalized approach. ChatGPT can't respond to changing abilities and skills and emotions of students, unlike humans as teachers in the classroom. Limited ability to teach critical thinking. You get instant response, ready-made answers based on data that's stored much earlier. Education is dynamic, so it won't teach you critical thinking, which is the essence of education. The essence of education is to create thinkers, analytical and logical thinkers among students. Creativity is the essence of education. Potential for misinformation. ChatGPT handles huge data and information, which may include biases, prejudices, which may creep into the answers to the questions that you ask. So it's not credible as a source of information. It doesn't list you, the authorities, in response to your question. Dependence on technology. In the developed world, it's okay. We have fast internet connection, we have reliable internet connection. But what about in the third world countries? It is a problem, and it requires skills of the users of the technology. Lack of emotional intelligence. It cannot respond to the specific needs and abilities of students. How does ChatGPT encourage students who are lagging behind? It's only human who can do that. And potential for over-reliance. It will make students robots. Because you shoot the question, you get the answer. You know, it's always easy to get things the easy way, you know? That's the approach to what I call least resistance, you know? Just get answers. So you over-rely, which is very, very dangerous. Now, in the light of all this, increasing number of subscribers to ChatGPT, do we accept it? Is it helpful in the education sector? As I speak, there is an increasing number of institutions, educational institutions, not just in the United States, but in other parts of the world. In different states in the United States, ChatGPT is banned. To name some states, these are Baltimore, Alabama, North Carolina, Virginia, Seattle, and Maryland. It is also banned in Anchorage, Alaska, because of what I told you, part of the story about the downsides of ChatGPT. There are only 2 universities in the United States that embrace ChatGPT cautiously. The State University of New York at Buffalo and Furman University. ChatGPT is banned in the University of Hong Kong and in Bangalore University in Bangalore, India. It is almost banned in the University of the Philippines where I graduated for my master's and doctoral degrees. In Australia, it's banned almost everywhere. New South Wales, Western Australia, Queensland, and Victoria. Evidently, fellow Toastmasters and guests, ChatGPT as a tool should be used with caution in the education sector. It cannot be relied upon to train students in the area of critical thinking as problem solvers skilled in logical and analytical thinking. The essence of education, as I said, is to create students who are problem solvers when they become professionals. The essence is creativity inside and outside the classroom. In the education sector, it cannot substitute for humans, for teachers who could empathize with the students and who can motivate students to perform very well. There you have it, fellow Toastmasters and guests. ChatGPT is not a cure-all for what is needed in the education sector. It should be used with caution. Warren Buffett himself, when he was presented by Bill Gates, ChatGPT, commented by saying that it's incredible, it's really fantastic, it's good, but will it be good for all of us in the future? There you have it, fellow Toastmasters and guests. ChatGPT should be used with caution in the education sector. Madam, Miss Toastmaster, I am now ready to answer questions. I hope it's friendly questions from the audience. Who will shoot the first question?
How do they go about banning the use of it? Do they just say that it's forbidden, or is there a legal way that they can ban?
That's a good question. I don't know if I have the correct answer. I read a lot of articles saying that, because I did a lot of research on this, I read a lot of articles saying that it's banned. But how they ban it, I really don't have the details. I asked my two grandchildren, and my grandson told me that how it is banned in school is that it is not encouraged here in Cypress Community College, and even in the school where my granddaughter is studying. They don't encourage that because it's not really reliable. If you ask a question and ChatGPT gives you the answer, it doesn't give you the authority. It doesn't give you the source. Because ChatGPT just string together the words that's stored in the memory bank. But there are schools that officially declare that it's banned. University of Hong Kong, Bangalore University, and other unified, LA Unified School District does not encourage this. The second largest school district in the United States, next to New York. It's banned in LAUSD. Other question?
Yes, I have
Yes,
a
Sherry.
question.
Sherry,
Yes, what resources does it access? Because you say that it's, the possibility for misinformation. If you have credible sources and you have a synthesis of all the credible sources, all the scientists or all the experts, I would think that misinformation wouldn't be able to sneak in there. So how is it that it can?
only God knows what's stored there, because they don't cite it. For instance, if
No,
the
but
one,
even though they don't cite it, if it was only looking at credible sources like newspapers and educational, you know, if it was only looking at vetted types of research, then misinformation wouldn't be able to get in. So even though they don't say who it is, why can't they monitor the quality of the information that they're accessing?
You know, whatever is written in the literature depends on how it is researched and how it is interpreted. And all these things are subject to human biases. Let's say if I write something about an issue, what is my predilection about certain position? I may have built-in bias against a specific issue. And if it is the one predominantly gathered, stored in the data bank, that will reflect on the answer to the question that you pose to ChatGPT, as ChatGPT string the words together. And they don't adjust it. How often do they update, for instance, the studies or whatever information are stored there? Education is dynamic. Everything changes every day. So that professors have to upgrade their skills. They have to know what's the latest trend in specific issues. So it's really possible. And ChatGPT accepts it, admits it, because the upsides and downsides that I showed you, these are not mine. This came from ChatGPT itself because I really wanted to test it. So there is an admission on their part.
Wow.
I just brought in my own analysis and interpretation as a former educator. Yes, Shirley.
What are some ways you can use it positively, or did they recommend anything to use it?
Well, you should use it really with caution. Look at the benefits and limitations. For me, one way it can help me, if I want to speak on an issue, I just post the question, I have a one-page speech. If you are not concerned about the quality, for instance, I ask a question, how do I promote Toastmasters? I have, in less than 3 seconds, I have a speech. But when I read it, it's not updated. It talks about the 10 manuals, which is in the old curriculum. You see? So you have to be careful. I think I still have time for one more question. Any other question?
Eleanor, go ahead, Eleanor.
Eleanor?
I was just wondering, it's in line of Sherry's question. I know that it takes the resources from the database, but how else can you like cross-examine or cross-reference a question? If you're asking a question on ChatGPT, where else can you get a like a cross-reference without using the, I guess, the online resources, just to correct it, see if it's ChatGPT is telling you the truth or not.
I like your question. That's also one of my concerns as an academic. As I said, it does not tell you the source of the information. It can give you an answer which is contrary to the prevailing belief in some of the literatures, which is contrary to what the authorities say on the subject. Because it does not give you the source. For instance, when I asked for an outline, they gave me outmoded. I asked for the history of administrative thought, which up to now I still have in my mind. It's off. It's very off. It's only 50%. So I could not rely on that because they don't update it on a daily basis. That's why, remember the term chat generative pre-trained. pre-trained transformer. So it was set up there with data information prepared long time ago. So that's one of the pitfalls of ChatGPT. I think my time is up.